Welcome back. This is the second video for the introduction to engineering and computer science. Since engineering and computer science is an innovative field, you're always solving problems that haven't quite been solved the way you're going to solve them in your job. From time to time, you end up running into someone else's patent, or you may even want to patent your other ideas. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to just have a very quick treatment of this topic of patents, what they are, what they're good for, why do they exist. So patents were created because in the olden days, when an artisan whether they were bread maker, they were toy maker, or other machinery makers, they would hold the secret of how they do their job closely. And what would happen to that is, if they had a new or better way of doing something, then no one else would learn about it. Then obviously their artisan had understood, the reason is well understood, is that if they give away their secret, then everybody's going to copy them and the value of what they're doing goes down. So governments across the world decided this was not a good thing for society, because if somebody came up with a better way of doing something, they wanted that idea to be shared broadly across the population. So governments across the world, they came up with this idea of a patent. Okay, what the patent does, a patent protects your innovation for a certain amount of time. Those 10 years, 15 years, depending on what you're doing, the number of years vary. So once you patent somebody, you have the exclusive right to use that. If somebody else wants to use your idea, they have to come and negotiate with you for the right to use that. Usually involves some money changing hand and all that kind of stuff. So with the patents now, I don't have to worry about disclosing what I've learned so the rest of the society can learn from it. Because my rights are protected under the patent. Okay, so that sounds reasonable, hopefully, and that's why patents exist. There is Patent Office. United States has a USPTO, and we're going to cover their website. And if you're interested to learn more, that's a really good site to go learn more about it. But patents is, if you have any idea, whether it's a process, procedure, system, or a design, or anything that is unique and it's a better way of doing something, better is kind of your decision whether it's better or not. There's a different way of doing something, then you can patent it. But you have to pass two tests. First test is got to be novel, which means that there is no one else who has done what you are planning to do. So it's got to be novel. That's the novelness. The other one is non-obvious. You cannot say, hey, there is no documentation for this. If there is two documentation, if you put those two descriptions together, then you get your idea. So it's got to be novel, means that nobody's described this idea before. And it's got to be non-obvious. You cannot be a trivial putting together of two existing existing ideas. It's got to be something novel, new about it when you do that. So patent office, for example, in the United States, the US Patent Office, every country has their own. So if you want to get protection, you have to file a patent application, and I will go through and kind of show you where that is, not that you have to do it. But for this class, I just wanted to cover some of the key elements. So when you do your exercise for the patent, you need to include these three key elements. And even when you do your application, these are the three key elements that you need to do. Is what is the problem that you're trying to solve? So you got to describe the problem first, and then say who's going to benefit of the proposed solution. So when you create the solution, how and who's going to benefit from it, okay? And then you got to describe your new invention. These are called claims. This is probably the most important part of a patent. That's where it says this, yes, I'm describing a full solution, but this specific item is what is new. Okay, so let's say you come up with let's say flying. I'm just going to make this up. Flying car. So they say, well, wait a minute, what's unique? The car is not unique. It looks like every other car. Maybe you think about maybe the way you move up, the way you propel it is unique. Maybe something about the way you control it is unique. Those are the things you put in claim. Claim is very specific, said this is the new idea I am introducing in this product. So claims are by far the most important part of your patent. Those are where you literally, as the word says, you're claiming these are brand new stuff. And then you also have to take some time if you're going to do a patent to look through other existing patent and say, okay, which existing patent relates to the claims I have, and for extra credit, I suppose you also should probably tell them kind of what your how your patent is different, how your patent improves upon what they already exist. So if you have those three elements, you're pretty good. You can go ahead and think about putting a patent application together. But those are the three key elements when you have to patents. So again, patent is a way of protecting you as a designer, as an inventor, so you can go ahead and share your idea without worrying about somebody stealing it without giving you the without having the permission from you to use that concept. There are kind of similar laws for different things. Copyright, for example, protects the written material. So if you have a written material, nobody can copy it because the copyright laws, there are actual federal laws that protect you. Trademark, if you come up with a service mark or a trademark, if you come up with some like Coca-Cola's, the way they write Coca-Cola, that is a trademark and a service mark. So you can trademark is for products, service mark for services. So if nobody can use that shape or that color, even sometimes colors with their shape are being patented, so nobody can use it. So those are similar things. But for our stuff, we are mostly interested in patent. That's where we come in. Now, if you want more information, US Patent Office is a great place to go and take a look at. That's USPTO, US Patent Office, the acronym. And I'll go ahead and bring it up. So this was the US Patent Office. It's really a wonderful site. I've really enjoyed doing. If you're ever interested in this one, has a much more extensive description of patents. Let's focus on patents. It even has a bunch of things about if you're an inventor and an entrepreneur, what resources are available to you. It's pretty nice. And if you want to do patent, they can even let you apply for the patent right on site. You go here and say, okay, I have a new submission. You click on it, and basically the stuff they ask you, it's a bit involved, but when they ask you to do that, I should probably talk about this as well. There is design and utility. Utility means you do a function and useful use that does something. Design is just it's not a functional device, but rather the way it looks, the way it's put together is more of a portion. So most of us in engineering and computer science, we do utility patents. Now, provisional is that you're not really don't want to take a lot of time and do an application and pay the few $500-600 that costs to do that. You can do a provisional patent. So what that does is it's really easy. You describe what you're doing, and that becomes a professional patent. A provisional patent usually is about $100 or so, and that protects you for a year. Okay, and then the non-provisional, that's the real stuff. That would that's the actual patent, and it's a little more involved. So a lot of people do a provisional just to protect them while they're take the time to do the real patent. It's a quick, dirty way of saying, hey, I've done this. If someone else comes and claims it's done it, I was first. It's just kind of sticking your hand up in the air and say, hey, I was here first. So anyway, that's kind of a nice place to go here. I just want to open up one and just I thought I'd use one of my own. Here's the typical patent. There's an abstract which says what it is, and then some images that go with it, and some description of what it is. And then you come in here and it talks about description of the invention. Here's the claims. These are the real important portions. And usually you want to do as much as broad a claim as you can. Usually the patent office pushes back on you and say, hey, those are not we think there are the people who've already done that and things like that. So anyway, these are kind of some, gives you an idea. This is regarding a printer, design of a shuttle head printer in HP's printer. This is a bit old. This was done in 1994 when I used to work for them. Okay, so you're getting kind of a sense of what a patent is, how it's used, and kind of what are the ingredient of, if you want to write a patent, you got to say, hey, what is the problem I'm solving? What are the new things I'm claiming? What's the description of my invention and things like that? Okay, so that's basically it as far as the patent. Oh, one more thing. Google of course has a patent section, so you just can go to Google and say patent search. Google is easier, but I'm not sure if it's complete because so you can, the only thing is Google is a little bit easier to do a patent search on than the USPTO, but USPTO is more complete. Okay, so you just put in what, let's say we want to know if anybody has patented anything on a driverless. You might have to play on this and say, oh, here are all the people who have something or other relating to driverless car that they have patented in the past. And it's kind of interesting. So if you open one of these, you can actually go down and take a look to see who else, what other patents these guys are citing as being related to their patents. So that's a way of kind of expanding this out and understanding, kind of figuring out who else is here. Here's some of the other citation. Citation is this patent is referring to some other patents. Anyway, that's about all I had to say about patents, and I'll see you in the next video.